Good evening, namaste, welcome to our lovely Sunday conversations. Let's all see each other. Let us put on our screens. Okay, Vinita, what are we talking about? I was just asking Srishti, can you remind me of the topic?
So it is actually, do you think the time is running out and you have a lot to do in life? I think most of us would be struggling with that, right from the word go of getting up in the morning to hitting the road on the traffic, trying to, you know, change one lane to the other and actually rushing to get ahead. And finally, again, standing at a traffic light. And I think either we are doing it or we are every other day, we are seeing somebody else to do it. Eventually, we are all standing at the spotlight. This is how we are, we are into a toxic culture of instant gratification. And I think we really need to understand the need of patience and how we can develop patience because nature puts a seed and they take the time for the plants to grow. A pregnant woman will take 9 months to deliver a baby. So we can't play with nature. The only thing we can do is to have faith in ourselves and faith in the divine timing, divine things. If anything is bound to come to us, as you always say, Didi, there is a right time, there is a divine timing, and it will come. I was actually wondering when we were discussing this topic that so many things we possibly wanted maybe 10 years or more back in our lives, and it didn't happen. So we went on cribbing. But today we realize it's so good it didn't happen, you know? So I think God knows, the divine knows the best what we deserve, and we have to trust. And Didi, I think I would really want you to first explain to us the why is patience so important and how it's connected to divinity and how we can, if you could give us some tips from everyday life, how we can start from a scratch to develop patience in our everyday situation.
Yeah, so when we picked up this topic actually, or when this topic came to me, I really wasn't thinking about the patience aspect, and thank you for bringing in that angle because it is so relevant to this too. What I picked up or what I was reading somewhere, and something just came to me because everybody seems to be rushing. It seems that 24 hours are less for us to complete the day. There's always something at the end of the day which we feel, oh, I couldn't complete it today. I'll do it tomorrow. And in fact, now I remember as I'm talking to you all, that I remember I was doing a session or a healing program with somebody, and this guy was saying that, I'm just always internally, there's anxiety, there's restlessness. So I said that, one of the best ways to deal with that is just be fully where you are right now, and then you feel you've completed that. So even if you've completed, say, 5 things out of the 10 that you were supposed to do in the day, at least you feel that that's complete and over and put aside. Usually, what is it that we do? We try to steal out on that time. Let me just complete about 80% of this so that I can complete 10 things rather than 5 things. Isn't it? And then what remains in the mind? That there's a 20% that we still need to work on, right? And so those 20% for those 10 things makes us not feel satisfied. And we feel that restlessness. We may feel, okay, we've completed that task. But, the anxiety linked to that still runs somewhere within us because we know that there's something more to do or something that we left incomplete. Like we say, okay, we'll come back to that later. I remember even when we used to write our answer sheets in the examination, we would say, okay, I'll perfect this answer later, let me just complete all the questions. And many a times we did not have the time to go back to that. And as a result, we would lose out marks on both the questions. Rather complete it fully so that you get 100% in that, and then go to the next, and then go to the next. So that is one very good way, if I would say, to say develop patience. And more than patience, it's mindfulness. It's like fully being here, doing what you're doing, rather than your antennas running in 10 different directions. So when we are like, it's a policy that I try to, follow whenever I'm doing a healing or I'm doing something, phones aside, like fully there, attentive. There could be 100 things which I know I need to do. But right now I'm here, fully here, doing what is needed, talking, sharing. So, you come into a very centered space, and whatever you're doing feels very complete. feels very, full, complete in that way. And I think the whole connection, whether it is with people or even with a, say, job or a task that you're doing, it feels very fulfilling and complete, doesn't it? Like we always say, when you're cooking something, just be fully there, put on some nice music, put on some chants, rather than, one hand on the phone, cooking with the other hand, or thinking I have to do something else. You don't enjoy it. So fully enjoy what you're doing. Even a simple task like brushing your teeth, you know, it's like so important for us, isn't it? But we're always on the rush. We're always on the rush. Just be there. It'll take you all of 1 minute, I would say, to do that. We just spare that time to fully enjoy that little task that we are doing, and similarly so many other things. So what I felt, that why do many of us have anxiety, why do many of us have this kind of a rushed feeling inside us, is because we don't give full attention and full due to whatever we are doing. And why don't we do that? Because there's always more to do. There's the next thing and the next thing. So we feel that even in 24 hours, we were not able to complete all those things. The day is finished and, oh gosh, I haven't completed what all I had thought of completing in the day. And then there's more that keeps coming and, making us feel more guilty, making us feel like a failure. I didn't do this, I didn't complete this, and so on and so forth. So that's what creates, if you reflect on it at a later point, that creates a very rushed up feeling inside you. Even when we are talking, I notice, and, especially being a teacher with young children at one point in my life, I feel that when there is a child who has a lot of ideas that they want to convey, they have a lot of things that they want to share, their speech becomes like fast, because they want to say everything that they have. If we have a question to answer and we have to write a paragraph, say 10 sentences, but our mind is giving us 20 sentences, so we try to crap it into that, because our mind is running in that way, and we want to, really pour it out or vent it all out in that way, and sort of, get all our ideas out. So our speech becomes very fast, because I have to speak in 30 minutes, but I have so many ideas that I want to share. So rather than conveying one idea, let me just go on and on and on. And that creates that rushed feeling inside us. It's a sometimes a hormonal rush also that we are trying to sort of follow with, complete with. It's that thing of going and achieving more and more. But versus that, what I'm trying to say is that if we shift our focus to mindfully doing one thing, mindfully meaning fully being there. And I'm just taking this opportunity to bring in something that we learned in Reiki, since most of you here are Reiki channels, and we know that we've connected in this whole space, especially through the pandemic, due to our Reiki sessions. A lot of times when we learn Reiki, especially level 1, after the session, everybody's charged up, and it's like every day you have to do your 1 hour, 20 minutes practice, 26 points, 3 minutes on each point. That makes it about 1 hour, 20 minutes. Every day you need to do that. Can you commit to that? So initially you're all charged up and, enthusiastic about it. But slowly, as your other, routines and tasks come on, that takes a little backseat, because who's got the time to do 1 hour, 20 minutes of Reiki in this rushed thing? You can barely make it to your office, or you can send your children to school on time. So who's got the time for it? But I heard something which my teacher told me, that, when you start doing your Reiki practice, time starts to expand. Time really expands. So what do we mean by that? And I have experienced it in my life. You start enjoying that Reiki so much, and the kind of energy that it starts to give you just makes you do your other tasks with full awareness, full focus, and you always make that time out for your Reiki. And of course, it comes with its other benefits of, improving your health, improving your relationships, improving your career, because you are feeling, you have more time to do more things, spending that 1 hour in your Reiki class or doing your Reiki practice. And I'm sure there are many here who are Reiki practitioners who've learned Reiki, who would definitely vouch for this, that it really, time begins to expand. And if you set your mind on this, that I have to do my 1 hour, 20 minutes of Reiki in the morning or through the day sometime, you will see that the time for the other things actually, happens. And as Vinita was saying, certain things may not happen. I'm not talking even about, say, in our life, I'm talking just about one day, 24 hours. Certain things may not happen. So let's just trust that they were not meant to happen. If they were meant to happen, you would have had the time, the situation, the platform to make it happen absolutely in the right way. So when you feel that anxiety, when you feel that rush, oh gosh, what have I done? Or I'm not able to complete this. When you feel all those things, just stop, take a pause and reflect and look at what all you have done in the day. Reflect on what all you have done in the day. There would be so many things that you've completed. Maybe you hadn't even thought of those things, but we only tend to focus on what we've not been able to accomplish, not just in the day, but even in our lives. And that's why we feel rushed in life. Another statement that I want to bring in here, and please, like some of you are new here, just feel free to stop me if you have anything that you want to share about or contradict or ask. Just know that this is a platform for you to say in a very non-judgmental way anything and everything that you're feeling. So many a times in life we feel that life is running out or time is running out and I'm losing out on time in my life. I had to complete my studies till a certain age. I had to be married till a certain age. I had to have children till a certain age, or I had to complete my job at a certain age. I should have been here. But that's really not how life runs. Let's all understand that. We hear ourselves so many times saying that I wish I had joined that class or that school or taken up that job. Then I would have succeeded much more in life, or had I not given up that job, or had I not, given up that opportunity in my life, I would be in a totally different space. Again, understand there is no time that is running out. I remember once telling a cousin of mine who was concerned about her daughter's wedding, and she said that, she's getting older and time is running out. So I said, time is not running out. Time is just what it is. Where is it running out? It is going to happen at the perfect time when it is meant to be. There is no fixed time for anything that, okay, it's different when you're going to a school, but even there are age differences in children. But otherwise, it's not necessary. Someone may get married at 26, some may at 30, some at 40, some may not choose to. That's also just fine, isn't it? So why do we think that life is running out, time is running out? It's only a conditioned way or in which the things need to be. It's only a conditioned way in which things need to be. That's all that there is. Nothing more than that. Absolutely nothing more than that. Let's hear from you. Agree, disagree? How is it?
Initially about a decade ago, people really were focusing on multitasking. Now, the psychologists say that, as what you are rightly saying, that you have to focus on one task, finish it off, and then move to the other task, because multitasking creates so much of anxiety and pressure, and the quality of the work that we are doing at that time also goes down. So I think there is a beautiful shift in that scene where people were all wanting to multitask. Just they are bol rahe the, they're cooking also, they are talking also, and they're possibly speaking to their children also. So with this divided attention, I think it just creates an imbalance in us, and here we move forward. And one more thing, I was just reading somewhere. There's this book which says "Eat That Frog." So, as you were saying that there is a priority list that we create or something. The task that we have to do. So the biggest task, maybe the most difficult task, that should be the first one that we finish it off, and the rest of the tasks we can just see. I mean, as you rightly saying, if it is meant to happen, it will happen, but at least our focus should be on the most important task rather than finishing 5 tasks instead of one big task and keep that in the basket.
Yeah. So what you were talking about multitasking, yes, definitely. Why are we multitasking? We are multitasking only because we feel that, we have, say, 1 hour to complete all these things, and there are 10 different things that we need to do. So if we combine it, and usually I've also heard or seen people multitasking so that they can finish their work on time and then relax. But that doesn't happen, because then there's always more to do. There's always more to do. So I would say shift the focus, like I'm saying, like Vinita is mentioning. let's focus on the fulfillment that we are getting from the task. That is very, very important for me. So one session I've done, I'm fully there in the session, fully present. The kind of the quality of what I'm delivering to the person will change totally. Like right now, if I think, oh, I have to go somewhere, or the bell is ringing, my phone is ringing, I cannot be here speaking to you. You will just log off because you won't find that, you won't find that energy or that presence in this session right now. So that only comes in when we are fully present, doing what we are doing, not just to complete the task, but to get fulfillment out of that task. Be it something very small as brushing your teeth, or something as big as completing an assignment, doing a session, doing a workshop. It makes hell of a lot of difference. And you can make out, all of us, most of us here are working in some way, if not say in jobs, then we are working at home. A lot of times, जैसे बोलते हैं we are doing something, तो हम कह रहे हैं मैंने बहुत मन से ये खाना बनाया. I put in all my energy, I put in full attention. What is it when you say that you do that? It's just putting in full attention in that, isn't it? The taste of that food is totally different. Sometimes we even put on chants, we even put on, certain things. So we are fully there, mindful, if you want to put it in technical spiritual terms, we are fully there, mindful of what we are doing, right? And that just makes it, and you feel happy, isn't it? You feel happy that, and you know it. Today I did this, it could be a same mundane thing, but wow, I really enjoyed doing it. Versus like just doing it on the side. We are just running out for nothing. We're just losing out on the joy and the fulfillment that we can achieve in everything that we are doing, even if it is talking on the phone or anything that you're doing. Now, so many times we see these young ones. I mean, I see these kids in my house, the television is on, they're watching some serial, and is on. Simultaneously, the laptop is working. Simultaneously, there's a call. यहाँ पे खाना भी बीच-बीच में खा रहे हैं. What are you enjoying? Do you enjoy even one of those? What you wouldn't follow that series or that thing that you're watching on the TV. What you're doing on the laptop is like your attention is there. That food that you're eating, you're not getting any taste out of it, and you're midway even taking on a call. So wait, yeah, prioritize, separate, filter out these things, and nothing will run away. So many times it feels that, oh, I haven't answered that call. I really need to have my phone on because I need to answer that call. But trust me, if you need to answer that call, the person will wait. And if it is so much of an emergency, then something will make you attend to that if you're meant to be there. So many times I've heard parents saying, I couldn't take the call, and this happened. I immediately needed to be, or even on a medical condition, medical condition that I needed to attend, but somebody else would attend to the person or attend to the situation at that time, isn't it? And that's not, so whatever you are doing, just be fully there. Why do you want to do 4 tasks together at one time? What is it that we get out of it? Let's hear from some of you. Does it give us that kind of fulfillment, or what does it make you feel that, wow, I completed so much? Yeah, I've seen 4 serials of that. I've completed that web series. So what is it that you're really getting out of doing so much together, or doing things in a rushed way? What satisfaction, or what does it make us do? Let's hear from some of you.
Ma'am, I'll say something.
Yeah. Yes, Neelam.
If there are many tasks at home to be done, and I know that it's going to be difficult, so after I complete a few tasks, I just appreciate myself, like, oh, you did a good job. This is the best you could have done. And maybe somebody else in my place would not have been able to handle so many tasks together. So if there's nobody to appreciate you, I pat my own back and I say, well done, Neelam.
Absolutely. Always do that. I always say, and this is something which also comes across in my SRT sessions, that a lot of times people are, really raring to achieve in their life, which is very good. I mean, aspire, achieve. And they set, okay, so I have to climb up 10 steps on this ladder. Okay. The moment they reach the 8, it's a personality trait, by the way. Okay. And it's really not judging anybody. The moment they reach the 8th step, they're already looking at the 20th, because they know कि अब ये तो हाथ में आ गया. Now let us see what next we can do. And they never feel fulfilled. जैसे ही वो 17th, 18th, 19th, अब तो ये मेरे grasp पे आ गया. Okay, now let me look at the next step. So do you stop at the 10th step or at the 20th step and look down? Wow, I've climbed up from 0 to 10. No, because you're already on the 12th, 13th and you feel, oh my gosh, there's so much more to do. How will I reach that? I have not done anything. Because you don't stop and take that pause that Neelam just pointed to. For everything, small tasks, big tasks, yeah, that is what doesn't lead to this. That is what leads to this, satisfaction of completing what you're doing. And that is what makes you feel more validated, more powerful, more fulfilled in every aspect. And believe me, whenever you're fulfilled or satisfied in any one aspect of your life, it definitely impacts the other areas of your lives too. Now, supposing someone is going through a, say, bad health condition, invariably it is going to affect their career. It is going to affect their relationship and vice versa. So, jo bhi kar rahe ho, fully complete it. Take your time over it. And even if you do 2 tasks less, it doesn't matter. But get that satisfaction. I always tell these people, these achievers who are there, that stop, pause. Otherwise, you're always continuously on a treadmill. Continuously on a treadmill. And you just don't know. You don't even know where the stop button is. You don't even know where the stop button is. So stop, take that pause. Look from where you've come to where. You can't see that because you're already midway into doing the next task, isn't it? Isn't it? So definitely very important. And that's the importance of taking that pause. Of course, adding to it is the validation, which is like, the icing on the cake. It makes it even better. So why not? So check yourself, auto check yourself when you're doing just through the day, whatever you're going on. Take a pause and see, okay, so what is it that I have done through the day? Or even, every hour or 2 hours, take a pause and see, yeah, I've completed this. I have to put more energy in this. Wow, what a wonderful job I've done. Do this self-talk. It is so powerful. It is so powerful. When you say that, unless you're really in a very low or a very negative or a dense space, when you even appreciate yourself, there is a shift in your energy. There is a shift in your energy. See, it is not important who is appreciating. Sometimes we say, no, it's very important that only that person or that person should appreciate, then it will be valuable. But that's not true, right? So wherever you are being appreciated or you look at yourself and you say, wow, this is just so wonderful, you've done a good job, it definitely makes you feel good about yourself. That's what we call self-love, mirror work, self-talk, isn't it? So why not? Why do you wait for person A, B, C to tell you that you've done a good job? And when, supposing they don't choose to tell you, you'll always be that, oh gosh, I'm a failure, I haven't done anything. Similarly, when we look at the, the situation of loving somebody, I will only feel the love if person A, B, or C in my life loves me. There's 23 X, Y, Z, there's so many other things they're all there to love you and give your love. Why are you only stuck up on ABC? Let's move ahead. There are 23 other alphabets waiting to love you. And just, it's not who is loving you. Let us understand. It is just receiving the love that you want. That is more important. But the ego comes in, the mind comes in and says, no, I want only this person to love me. Only then I'll think that I'm worthy of being loved. That's really being foolish, isn't it? Or nahi hai koi to come on, love yourself. Give yourself all the love and joy. Pamper yourself. That will give you so much joy. Shift these things. We were never so aware of these things previously. Isn't it? It seemed as if we are being very self-centered. We are being very selfish. We are not focusing on others. We are only focusing on ourselves. But absolutely important to be selfish, be self-centered, and love yourself. Only then you will be able to do anything for anybody. Agree, disagree? Let's hear.
Auntie, I have a question. Certain delays comes with a lot of pressure. I mean, the other party is not wrong at that time, but how to cope up with that kind of pressure,
See, as we started and Vinita spoke about divine timing, It's not about other party or, it's just, we have to bring in two words here: trust and surrender. And not to any party, but to the universe, to life, I would say. Delays are what? What are delays? Who's given you those deadlines? Who's given you the deadlines? Even if you miss your school bus, somebody drops you to school, isn't it? Right? So you will not miss any bus in your life. If you miss the bus, there'll be some other way that you'll reach where you need to reach. Now the delays are coming because you are thinking this should happen at this time, isn't it? And if it has not happened at that time, so it's delayed. But who has said that time? Who has said that time?
We
You yourself
ourselves,
at that
yeah.
time, right? And because of that, if the other party is not able to understand, let them not understand. You be in trust and joy. Don't get caught. You are now in a space of greater awareness than anybody else,
Mm.
right? Now, in any situation in life, right? Just know that whatever is happening in the perfect way that it is meant to happen. There is no other way that it is meant to happen. So if it is a so-called delay, if we say, it's your choice. That delay could be 5 days, 5 months, 5 years. So will you choose to hang in the air for 5 years till something doesn't move?
No.
Or will you live your life to the fullest and say, okay, when it's meant to be, it'll be.
Mm.
Keep aspiring, keep putting your energy, keep praying, keep doing all the things that you need to, right? But don't look at it as a delay, because it's really not a delay.
Mm.
It's not meant to be happening at that time. But what we usually do, we put a pause, or we put a, like a comma to everything else in life.
Mm.
That once this happens, only then I'll be happy. Kuch nahi hone wala. Because then there'll be something else to do. So be happy now. And know that what delay is to make you happy. Know that the so-called delay is only to make you happy.
Right.
Isn't it?
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, so there is no delay. There is nothing called delay. Delay is happening only because we are feeling that hamare mind mein we had thought that by this age or in this time, by 5 o'clock, I would have finished this. Abhi nahi khatam hua 5 o'clock. Doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. 6 o'clock ho jayega, kal ho jayega. What is there to create so much anxiety, unless it's a deadline or something that you need to reach? Even then I tell people, because I see so many young people in corporates where they feel, oh, I have to complete my targets, I have to complete my deadlines. So yes, maybe your job or your situation at some point is demanding that, it is asking you to do that, and there's nothing wrong in that, because you have to put in maybe some extra effort. But again, if you do it with full presence rather than here there, you'll 100% be able to complete it. Even these big corporates, these offices, they don't give tasks just like that. They know that it can be done. Yes, it might be stretching you a bit too much, there is no denial, but it's the ability for that person to do it is definitely there. The time given is definitely there. Just because we are not able to give our full attention to it, and we are a little lazy and we leave it for the last minute to do, that's when the tension happens, isn't it? That's when the tension begins to happen. If you get up, like you need to leave for a class or for your job at 8 o'clock, and if you get up at 7:45, obviously there's going to be a rush, isn't it? Obviously you're going to be so-called late, rather than get up half an hour earlier. Right? To get up half an hour earlier, you probably need to sleep earlier. So it's a vicious cycle, isn't it? I mean, get up, relax, look around, get ready, and wait for that. I mean, I remember when we people used to go to school, we used to always be ready before time. We never missed our buses. We were like so relaxed in the morning because there were no mobiles, there were no other things to distract us. Our focus was only getting up, getting ready, going to school. Our bags were packed at night, everything was done and laid out. But now it's like there's so many children who are even completing their homework at the last minute, and rushing into doing things in the morning, and they're like just getting up, barely getting out of bed, putting on their uniforms and rushing. That morning time you can enjoy so much. You can enjoy so much. So I just feel the way things are now, the way the distractions that we have, thanks to social media, which of course is a boon also, but the distractions that we have, the things that we want to do, there's so much to do. And that is why we feel that we are running out of time. Isn't it? We never thought, oh, we have to answer phone calls. We have to reply to all our WhatsApp good mornings. We have to look at Facebook and see whose birthday it is, who's posted what, where were they last night, Instagram mein kaun si party hui thi last, kisne kya post kara. If we have to see all that, obviously we won't have time in the morning, isn't it? We never even had all these things. Yeah, what was there? That time was more quality time. Okay, so we meet somebody and they tell us how the event was. But now it's like before the event is completed, there are 1,000 pictures of the event all over social media. You lose out the charm of it in some ways. Half the time, people are not reading the messages. They just want to forward it instantly. Half the times when you are at a function, it's like, okay, let's click a picture and instantly post it on Instagram. You miss out on the main function also because you're so busy clicking pictures and, posting them on Facebook and Instagram and wanting to be the first one to post it and then wanting to see who all has seen it, who all have liked it, who all have not responded. So all that needs time, doesn't it? All that needs so much time, effort. Obviously, you'll have to expand your day to do that. So many times, and you don't realize when we are searching for something on the net, we just open one thing or we type in one link and suddenly it takes you to something else and to something else and to something else. And you have like 50 windows opened, isn't it? And you don't know, actually, you don't remember what you started looking for when you started open the laptop, because and those pop-ups keep coming and then you get lured into this. Okay, let me just look at this also, that also. And you have 50 windows, you've forgotten what you had actually logged in for. That's exactly what starts happening in our mind when we keep going here, there, and, trying to do all these things together. Because one thought takes you to the next and to the next, because you're not fully there in what you are doing. So the crux of this thing is that whatever you are doing, just be fully there. Now, let me tell you one thing very practically. Even as I'm talking to you, even as you're listening to me, there would be things coming, oh, I have to serve dinner. I hope she finishes the talk by 8 o'clock. Oh, what have I prepared for tomorrow morning? Invariably, these things are going to pop up, and they pop up in my mind too. But where can you keep your focus? Those popping in of those thoughts is not in our control. But where we put our attention to is in our control. Right? I would say listen to this talk fully, even for half the time, rather than, just sitting here and your mind being all over. That's what makes us feel rushed from inside. Doesn't it? Right? And there's absolutely nothing wrong in sort of dismissing two things or finishing short and, just feeling complete that, yeah, I could only spare 40 minutes, but I was fully there for 40 minutes. I didn't listen to the talk for 1 hour. It's fine, but complete everything that you're doing. At the end of the day, when you just go back and you reflect on your day, you just think of so many things that, you did in the day. Oh gosh, but I didn't, answer that person back. Or, I didn't complete this task, or I didn't close this thing. So then you feel so incomplete at the end of the day. And what does the mind feel? I still have to do that. 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 So you've done everything, but you still haven't done anything. Isn't it? Right? So at the end of the day, just think of all the major things that you did, all the people that you met, just do and say, oh, wow, I just did. Okay, I had thought I would do 10, but I did 8. But wow, it's absolutely that 8 was my 100%. So thank you very much. Thank you for this task. Thank you for this day. Thank you for meeting me, whatever. Complete, and move on to the next day. You'll sleep so peacefully. You'll sleep so peacefully versus thinking that, yeah, I didn't do this. First thing when I get up in the morning, I'm going to do it. And 10 times at night, the thought will pop in that I don't know what the other person would be thinking. I have not completed it, but I really meant to complete it. So all that mind chatter is going to come up, isn't it? Isn't it? So just complete everything and just be fully satisfied at the end of the day that this has been the best day of my life. I've done whatever I needed to. Thank you. Gratitude for the day. Cut cords with whomever you need to, good, bad, whatever, and sleep peacefully. And I always say, who knows what tomorrow is going to bring? But Yeah, if I get up tomorrow, very good. If I don't get up tomorrow, that's also very good. Everything done and complete, isn't it? Isn't it? So just be happy with whatever you're doing. I mean, you meet somebody, fully meet them. Who knows, like the pandemic has taught us, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow to any of us, right? So complete, do whatever you need to in life fully, small things, big things, everything. That will give you so much of satisfaction inside. And don't think I don't have time for this, I can't do this. I mean, I'm so caught up. No, a lot of times people tell me, you have so much work, you're so busy. I said, yeah, I have work because I love to do my work. But the moment I want to go out or I want to meet somebody or there's some plan, I'll 100% be there. I'll 100% be there. I'm absolutely not busy in that way because I want to enjoy that 100%, enjoy that fully. Isn't it? Yes, everything needs practice and awareness in life. There's no doubt. Awareness is a very big thing, but not practice. Practice will come in when you start enjoying that thing. It's not really a task. It doesn't need practice. Practice is when there is an effort, applying whatever you're doing. If you enjoy everything that you do, that becomes your practice. Isn't it? And can we not enjoy doing everything that we are doing? What stops us from enjoying what we are doing? We feel that I don't want to do this, but I'm being forced to do this. But you had wanted that job in the beginning, you had chosen that particular course in the beginning. So now you are feeling, I don't enjoy this because, I have too much pressure in this job. But when you get your salary at the end of the month, it's very good. So you have to work for that salary. Now, so enjoy it rather than cribbing about it. It has its everything is a package. It has its pluses, it has its minuses. There will never be that there's only plus, plus, plus. The minuses are actually just there. The moment you put that vertical line, all the minuses also become pluses. Isn't it? Yeah. One job I want this job, and you're struggling and you're praying, God, I want this job. The moment you get the job, the whole value of that job falls down. And that's so with everything in life. How much you want a particular relationship, you fight the world to get that relationship. And before you know it, it's like we are not getting along. Why do we devalue things in our life? Why do we put them down? Because they, that whole newness of it has gone. But this is the fact. This is how it's going to be. The job is demanding. You knew from the beginning you would have to work from 10 to 10. Or you knew that this, this relationship, I mean, if there's a good thing in the person, there's always a negative thing also that is negative because you don't like it. You don't like that person behaving in a particular way, isn't it? So that is always going to be there. That is always going to be there. It's not going to be every day that, everything is just nice and beautiful, though actually it is. You can even look through the gray clouds and, enjoy the rain on a rainy day and put on some nice music, take a nice book, get a nice cup of coffee and enjoy the rain also. Everything is beautiful if we look at it in that way. Isn't it? Yeah. Somebody was saying something.
Ma'am, I'll share something.
Yeah.
When I had joined a new company, there was one more girl with me. And initially, because we were new, we were not given any job responsibility for so around a week or so, we were just made to sit quietly. So she would sit there and she would keep cribbing, kuch kaam nahi dete, kuch kaam nahi dete. So one day I heard her, second day I heard her, third day I told her, चुपचाप बैठो, इसके भी पगार मिलेगी तुमको. So she's like, ऐसे क्यों बोलती है? I said, but बाद में जब काम देंगे तब तो बहुत काम देंगे ना. अभी बैठो ना, इसकी भी पगार मिलेगी तुमको. तो she's telling me, hats off to यार, तू ऐसे भी सोच सकती है. So it was like, sit now quietly till you get a job. Let them also decide what responsibility they can give us depending on our previous work experience. So even the seniors, they needed time to decide what work to allot to us. But she used to get so restless during the day. Every 1 hour she would keep telling me, कुछ काम नहीं दे रहे हैं, बेकार बैठे हम लोग, फालतू में ये जॉब हम लोगों ने ज्वाइन किया. जब जॉब नहीं थी, that time she had problem कि I didn't have a job for last 6 months, and when she got a job, she would keep cribbing, काम नहीं है, काम नहीं है. And after when we were given work, after that she would crib कि बहुत काम दे रहे, बहुत काम दे रहे.
Hmm. Yeah. So see, the thing is, that's very nice of you to share this, Neelam. The thing is that what we really need to reflect on this is that it's very difficult for us to be satisfied with the current situation the way it is, isn't it? If it's black, why is it black? If it's white, why is it white? You know? But the fact is that it is black. Enjoy the black also. It's also that contradiction that we want to bring in, isn't it? There's always a resistance to what is. There's always a resistance to what is. Because we are, we have, it's only coming from, like Srishti said, that preconceived thought that this is how things should be. It's only coming from that space, isn't it? It's the thing in my mind, or a conditioned thought. Basically, I would say it's a conditioned thought, because we've all grown up with that, in that conditioned way of being, that this is how my life should be. This is how things should be. I have to complete this in such and such a time. But you may not be able to complete it in such and such a time. So what? So what? And actually, a lot of times, when I've been a teacher, like I said, and if I give a question to a child and the child is not able to complete, I always say that, of course, we need to push a little bit, because the teachers who are making the question papers, or the CEOs who are giving the jobs or designing the jobs, they know that somebody of that caliber can do it in this time. You may need to be pushed to, to bring that potential out that is there within you. Now, some child may finish the same question in 2 minutes, and some may not even be able to finish it in 10 minutes. Isn't it? So the work of the teacher is to push you into, coming into that 5 minutes that you have been given for that answer. And that is exactly what the universe is saying. But if supposing for some reason you have not been able to finish it, you don't need to beat yourself up. And we also have to understand that each child, each student has a different caliber. Each one of us has a different caliber. The same task which I may be able to do in 10 minutes, the other may take 15 and someone may take 8. So what? Isn't it? The universe is not judging you. It's not an exam here. It's not an exam if you have not completed this. And I'm not talking about this, yes, in the examination, obviously you have to complete it in the designated time. Otherwise, you wouldn't be marked for that. But I would say, so what? That's also fine. You tried your best, isn't it? Isn't it? You tried your best. And I don't mean that, children should just get complacent, or we should just get laid back. It's not happening. Give it your best. You will know inside, actually, sincerely, did you really give it your best, or did you just jump in at the last minute to complete it? Now that's being unfair to yourself, isn't it? First, you don't be there on time to complete it, and then you beat yourself up. That's really self-sabotage. So just work it out in your mind. It's okay. Everything is fine. Everything is just fine and perfect. Everything is just fine and perfect. Yeah, so next time you find yourself rushing into something, oh, I'm getting late, or just, if we just prioritize, if we just organize a little bit, it will never happen. And if you're getting late, understand I'm getting late, full stop. Let me just message the other person, I'm getting late. But do it with full presence. Otherwise, that's what creates the anxiety and rush, doesn't it? That's what creates the stress, because things are incomplete. I'm not able to meet up with what I was supposed to meet up with. Isn't it? So just declare. Actually, the moment you declare something, the resistance drops. The moment you acknowledge it, that, okay, so now I'm going to get late. So let me just, announce it that I'm getting late, so that I don't have to then rush to just, tell the other person, yeah, I'm already on my way, when I'm just still at my house. Isn't it? So plan, organize, just have that thing in your mind, and be realistic about these things. A lot of times when we are rushed, or we feel things are like, rushing in that way, we're not realistic. We just, we know we will not be able to finish it in that time, but we overpromise. Or we make a list, especially these people who are very high achievers. They know that they'll not be able to do these 10 tasks in the day, but they will write 12 that they need to complete in the day. For them, that's the motivation. That's the motivation. But don't beat yourself up, is all that I'm saying. It's good to aspire, it's good to push yourself up, but don't be rushed. From tomorrow, promise yourself that at least 2 tasks that you do in the day, you'll fully do them. Even if it is just brushing your teeth, and see the quality of or the energy of your mind, of your brain, that begins to happen when you start doing those things. Isn't it? How many of us are just rushed? Okay, let me quickly have a shower. Enjoy it. It'll take you the same time. So many times we spend the same time, but the mind is rushed with it. Isn't it? The mind is rushed with it. So stop, doesn't matter. It'll take you 1 minute more or maybe even 1 minute less, because you'll feel so satisfied with whatever you are doing. Does it make sense? Yeah. Any questions? Anybody has anything to ask? Is it doable? Just try. Set it in your own heart. Nobody is asking you anything. Yes, Manjula, please go ahead. You were saying something?
Hi, hi Sujata. Nice
Hi.
hearing to you. This is my first time. Just wanted to check with you, like, yes, as elders, we can try from tomorrow onwards to set a time to be mindful and all that. But it will be good to start it from a younger age. And nowadays, I see, kids, like, they want to do so many things at the same time, and their concentration is not in studies. While in class, they're thinking of something else. I've got my son who is in 7th grade. He's always all around. Everywhere else except studies. When he suddenly thinks of his play, he suddenly thinks of tomorrow, what the teacher is going to say tomorrow. So how can we go about with children? How do we make them practice mindfulness?
We actually need to teach our children this at a very early age. I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you. And a lot of times when I'm doing Reiki with children as young as what you're saying in the 7th grade, 6th grade, I tell them that, just fully do what you're doing. Just fully do what you're doing. And somewhere it is us parents who've been pushing them, ye bhi karna hai, wo bhi karna hai, ye bhi karna hai. You have to go for dance class also, you have to go for your athletics also, gymnastics bhi karna hai, abhi ghar aake homework bhi karna hai, fir, everything is there. So let's be more realistic and teach them. Actually, the biggest thing that I want to say is, after this whole talk today, that whatever you are doing, you feel that, you will save time if you do it in a rush, but you don't save time. You don't save time. It's the mind that is rushed. It's not the action that is rushed. If you go in thinking that, okay, now I'm going for a shower or I'm going to, read for the next half an hour, you just allow yourself to do that. And just say, I have ample time to do this, even if it is 5 minutes or 1 minute. Wow, in 1 minute, I can do so much. Don't we all know how relative time is? That same thing, when I'm thinking, oh, when is this class going to get over? When is this class going to get over? Those 5 minutes seem endless. And when I'm with a good friend, those 5 minutes seem, oh my gosh, how did they just pass away? So it's also relative, because it all comes from here. And why do they pass away quickly? Because we enjoy it. So the simplest thing that you can do with the children is to let them enjoy everything that they are doing. Tell them, enjoy this. Let's fully enjoy this. Now we are reading, let's fully enjoy reading. And applaud, just pat the person on the child on the back. Appreciation is one of the biggest things. Motivation is one of the biggest things that can, help you feel more complete. And be realistic. A lot of times I tell parents, because I've been dealing with children for 16 years, I've been a teacher. I tell parents, be realistic with your children. Don't put so much pressure on them that they have to do so much. Because it's not really the child who knows. You feel as parents, oh, I have to do this also with my child, I have to put him here also. It's more the satisfaction of the parents, not of the child. All the hobbies need to be practiced. They have to join one class, then the other, then they have to excel in their schoolwork also. They have to have tuitions also. So it's like, where is the child breathing? The child doesn't even know. They barely come home, eat, change, then they're in one class, they come back from there, they're taken to the other thing. That quality time is not happening. So get the quality out of everything that you're doing in life. and teach them. One of the simplest ways to be mindful is to come to your breath. Since you've joined for the first time, I'm just going to explain to you. You know, even when you're going to answer a phone call, don't be in a rush to pick it up. Just take a pause. Just take a pause. Pause means just connect to your breath and take 3 breaths of awareness. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. See, you're breathing all the time, but are you aware of that breath? It makes a hell of a lot of difference. You will fully arrive here because your mind can be only in one place, either with the breath or with the mind chatter. The moment you tell your child, okay, now you've picked up your pencil, you've picked up your pen, you're going to write, just breathe 3 breaths of awareness. 1, awareness means fully here, not thinking कि मुझे क्या task करना. 2, 3. And now start. How long did it take? Not even 5 seconds. Right? Now answer your question. You'll see that you'll come here. And the moment you find that you've got scattered and you've gone here, there, come back to your breath. That is the simplest way of being mindful.
So
Simple.
you have to do it quite often when it's done for the first time, like each question or each chapter or each time they must have to, because every time it's not like I agree to you what you said, that the child is pressurized, but not in my case at the moment, because I don't pressurize and the child does not go anywhere. It's just at home throughout. So there is nothing. But the thought of play and gadgets, the thought is there rather than. So if they concentrate, they can finish it in 10 minutes. But because the mind is chattering so much, it goes on for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. If they can finish in 10 minutes, it just goes on. So I just want to teach them mindfulness so that they are there and just finish it off fast.
So tell them, start making them feel these things. Like, even if they are having a glass of water, just tell them to fully focus on what the water tastes in your mouth. How is it like you're walking? Take 1 step. Okay, now left foot is forward, your right foot is forward. So be fully with what you are doing. That is what mindful is, isn't it? When we learned mindful initially, it was like, okay, so now we have this cup of tea. Let's feel this cup of tea or this glass of water in my hand. I can feel this glass. I connect to the glass. I connect to the water. Let me take a sip. I'm aware that I'm bending my head. I'm taking a sip of water. Now the water is in my mouth. I'm feeling the water in my mouth. I'm feeling it being gulped down. That is actual mindfulness. Right? So fully being there with what you are doing. Fully being there with what you're doing. So tell them like, okay, now and see what happens. A lot of times we're telling the child, quickly finish this, then we'll do this. You get the gadget, quickly finish your homework. No, just do your homework. And when they're with the gadget, don't keep telling them about now quickly finish what you're doing on the gadget. Just tell them now it's your time for the gadget. Enjoy it fully. वो तो करना ही है उनको, है ना? So rather than always being on the head, because sometimes we don't do that. We're not in that awareness, isn't it? Yeah. Or they're like, I don't want to go into that whole thing because that's a whole different topic. That, yeah, we bribe the children. Okay, finish your homework, then you'll get for 10 minutes. Finish this, then you'll get for 20 minutes. Isn't it? We do all those kind of things. So say, no, this is gadget time. This is homework time. So even if you finish your homework early, you still won't get the gadget early. Because 1 hour is the gadget time, 1 hour is the homework time. So yeah, it's fine. Just relax for those 5 minutes that you finished. And then you can have your full time in your thing. Don't bribe to give extra there or extra there. Use those 5 minutes for mindfulness. Now let's try doing. The quality of everything that you do will change. The quality of everything that you do will change.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good.
And we do a lot of programs for children. So just stay connected. I don't know if you're on our mailing list or if you're on our WhatsApp group. We just taught EFT to a group of students in Singapore last year. It's like an emotional freedom technique. The tapping is there. This time in Dubai, we are doing a whole Reiki workshop for children. So there's lots, slowly introduce that. I feel this should be a part of the school curriculum.
Yes, definitely.
The awareness of themselves, of their breath. Like I'm saying, take 3 breaths. I mean, we are breathing 24/7 from the moment we are conceived till the time we die. But how many times are we aware of the breath? And I always like to emphasize that because for me, the breath is so important. The moment you come to your breath, everything else stops. And your whole energy expands. Try doing this every time you're doing something. Take a pause, take 3 breaths of awareness. Breaths are happening, but of awareness. And you'll see the difference in, you're getting angry, you're going for an interview, you have to answer somebody. Just take that pause for 5 seconds and you will see the quality of what you deliver will be so different. You see the phone ringing, oh my God, I'm going to get it from this boss of mine. He's going to say something. Pause, take 3 breaths, and then answer the phone. It will be so different. It will be just so different. Right? So be fully there. Nothing is running out. And tell yourself it's fine. I mean, I could do only this much. All these things, understand these parameters, these delays, these so-called, milestones have basically been set by your mind, by your conditioned life, if I would say. Let's grow out of it. Let's set more realistic goals. Feel more important as a person, as what you're doing, happy, satisfied. Even if you've lived a shorter life, you don't need to live till 100 and, be somebody who's just feels so unfulfilled. Isn't it? So each day, at the end of the day, just try and say, okay, wow, I've completed all that I needed to, whatever it was. Even if I left 80 say incomplete and 20 completed, that 20 was my 100% of the day. So thank you so much. Thank you, day. Thank you, life. Thank you, God. Whatever you need to thank, complete, finish, and sleep with that peacefulness in your energy. Nothing is running out. Everything is happening in divine timing, in perfect order. Yeah. Okay, we have a lot of programs coming up next week and the following weeks. I'm going to be in Dubai and everything will also be happening online. So anybody who's not connected to our website or our WhatsApp group, just, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on WhatsApp, you can just Google website, anything you can go on and just add your contact and you'll keep getting the updates of whatever's happening. As for now, 25th and 27th, I'm just giving free talks in Dubai. So anybody who's there is welcome and we'll be Zooming it also. So anybody, wherever they are in the world, can join in. Okay, just stay connected. Just know everything is perfect. Whatever is happening in life is just perfect.
It's meant to be the way it is.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
no struggle at all. The way it has to be, and it is. And maybe all of us are joining here. It is also a divine timing and a divine order that we have to hear all this from you.
Absolutely. Life is just the way it is and it is just perfect. At the end of the day, just don't be dissatisfied or upset. Just know it's all fine and the universe, whatever has given you the pain, whatever has given you the joy, it's all one source, isn't it? So let's accept both with as much trust and surrender as we can. Yep. Thank you so much. God bless you. See you soon.